Joining us now here and In the Circle, she is a national champion, fresh off a national title in her final year as a player with the Texas Longhorns, and of course now moving on to her next chapter as a coach, the new pitching coach over, of course, at UTSA, and that is I speak of course, Matt Morgan joining us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good. Let's talk about this one. What led you into deciding to get into coaching here soon after your college career?
I kind of found it at a young age, kind of like high school. I knew I still wanted to be a part of the sport, even if my career was done. So it's like I kind of wanted to coach at the highest level too. So I was like, what's no better than being a college coach? So that's what kind of took me there. And then like I gave lessons as a young age and continued all through my college career. And I loved inspiring little girls. And I was ready to take my knowledge and give back to the game.
So let's talk and reflect on this. Your playing career's done. You win the national title, the ultimate high. Take me through this process of, okay, yeah, I want to get into coaching because I know some players sometimes want to take a break. Some want to get into it right away. So just take me through this journey and how you ended up with here with the Roadrunners.
I started looking for jobs like right before Oklahoma City. Looking at the job portal, like hoping to find something. I knew I didn't want to take a break. I still wanted to be part of softball. I don't want to ever be a part like without it, even though if my cleats are hanged up. And then uh, I got a message from Coach Van, figuring out that Coach White got me an interview and phone call with her. So that was exciting, having this big opportunity and like going for it. And then it's always paying off.
You remember your first conversation with Coach Van?
Yeah, we talked just a lot about life and like how each other were. I was actually on my way to Missouri. I had her connected to my car and she was just talking to me for, I think, at least an hour.
Only an hour, and hey, that's an hour. That's about sounds about right. What was it that you felt comfortable that this was the right place for you to for your first coaching job? Considering also, of course, Coach Studerman has a pitching background, has been a pitching coach and handling the pitching. We'll get to that in a moment. But what was it where you felt like, all right, this is the right place for me?
Yeah, I felt like this was the right place for me. I loved the people, I loved the place, and overall, it was a great place for me where I know I'm going to learn and grow myself as a coach and then also grow the players.
So let's talk about the interesting title. Obviously, you're the pitching coach. How is that going to work with you and Coach Studerman working with the pitchers? I would assume you work side by side. You report to her. Just take kind of give us an idea on your role from that standpoint.
It's just working together with the pitchers. Like our biggest goal is to have their success in mind, not ours. Like we're going to work very well together. I have a feeling like she's a great person, great coach. I respect her very much, and it's just I want to learn from her. So it's like bouncing ideas off of each other and going from there.
Staying in the state of Texas, was that a big thing, or is that just kind of worked out that way?
I really love Texas and my goal was to stay, but like if it took me elsewhere, I had to go. But uh timing was right and I ended up being able to stay.
Once you got the job, I would assume you told Coach White what was his reaction and what advice he gave you.
He said he was very proud, reach out to him any questions, and he knew I'd be a great coach. That's what he told me.
What did you learn from him and Patty Ruth Taylor? Obviously, your coach, pitching coach at Texas. Obviously, there's things you probably picked from them that you're going to apply to your style. What did you learn from them?
Yeah, the biggest thing I've learned from both Coach PR and Coach White was the most important thing is the next pitch. It doesn't matter what happened from the pitch before. The only thing is the best or the next pitch is going to be your best pitch, and that's the only thing you can focus on. So it's something I really want to preach to my girls because that's what helped our pitching staff at Texas last year get through it to the end. So it's just like taking what you learned there and kind of making it your own and like revising it and helping other girls too.
You're literally just finished playing at Texas. In fact, let me just ask you this, just to clear the air. I mean, are you done playing? Could we see you playing professionally somewhere? Like, what is the playing status of Mac Morgan?
No, my cleats are hung up. I am done.
It'd be not a bad way to go out, right? Right on top on that. So with that in mind, uh, you just literally came off the field. So on the one hand, you could relate to these players. On the other hand, you're literally going to be similar ages. So how do you kind of differentiate now that you're going to be on the coaching side of things versus being a player?
Yeah, it's still taken from my experience and teaching them, like talking them through, like, because I've been in that situation. I know how to talk it through. I can tell them how I handled it, but it's also me talking to them as a coach and not as like a friend. It's like I know some of these players are going to be respectful, and it's just like having that boundary line, and it's like I don't think there's going to be a problem because I'm here to influence them and have a job to do.
How much of the players have you studied? Will you study as far as watching tape of them and just
Yeah.
getting to know them?
Yeah, I plan to get to know every one of them, even though I am mostly pitching. It's a whole team. We're all one big family, and it's like you have to know every one of those players. But like, I'm gonna watch film on all the pitchers and like help them any way I can, like revise it, see what I see how I can help them, and like sit down with them, have a talk about that.
I've talked to many former players that get into coaching and on the pitching side, and they say it always starts the bullpen. The bullpen is where you learn a lot. You learn about the person, you learn about what they throw, and everything like that. Are you the same, where you gonna get them into the bullpen and learn a lot there?
Yeah, I think it's both that and still you can learn a lot by watching their film. It's
Mm-hmm.
like how they throw, what's their strengths, but it's then like you have a game plan going into that bullpen and you can have a conversation then, hey, this is what I see. I think this is what we should work on. Does that sound like a game plan? Making sure it's comfortable for them because I'm teaching the pitchers their style. I'm helping them with their own style, letting them be their own person. I'm not teaching one specific way. I know different pitchers learn different ways, so it's also about learning their pitching style and how they learn.
I assume you've obviously been introduced to the players. Maybe have you had a chance to talk to them? Have they had any questions for you? Was it brief? What was that interactions
Yeah,
like?
we had a Zoom call and they were very excited. Some of them reached out just, giving me their name, like excited to work with you. But we were on a Zoom call for about 30 minutes, just introducing ourselves and having a little talk.
How much of an advantage do you think you'll have in that they just saw you pitch at the grandest stage in the sport? Like everybody, like, whoa, that has to be somewhat of an advantage because sometimes when you get into coaching, some players have to kind of reintroduce themselves or whatever. Literally, in your case, they just saw you pitch at the highest level and bring in a national title.
Yeah, I think that is an advantage, but it's also I want them to know me as a person and as a coach rather than they just saw me on TV pitching. Because how I was on the field with my demeanor, like I was very serious, still having fun, passionate, but I'm still like as a coach, I'm still passionate, but I'm here to influence you, talk about everything that you need in your bullpen, and still just like support them and give them everything they need.
You have obviously done it all in your playing career. You've seen it all. You've been an all conference performer. You reached the heights. You've won a national title. As I mentioned, you've pitched in the biggest stage at the World Series. You've also, been a starter. You've been a reliever. You've gone stretches where you haven't pitched. Like you probably have gone through so many different emotions as a pitcher. How much now going through all of that? Maybe you didn't enjoy some of that at the time, quite honestly, which would make sense. You're a competitor. But now, in retrospect, that might help you now in your next chapter here as a coach. Do you see the irony in that?
Yeah, it's like learning to like know your role. It's all about like there's always a role to be playing, whether you're not playing, there's always something else to do. It's like this last year, it's like we have this big pitching staff and we're all one, like we're all supporting each other. It's not about the playing time. Like we all know we have a role to the team. And if Coach Zaleski, one of the assistant coaches, she preached this big and we really lean into it. It's if you're not doing the thing, you're supporting the thing. So if we're not doing the thing, we're supporting the thing. So if I wasn't pitching, I'm supporting the next pitcher in there and all the other teammates.
Ooh, I love that motto there. That's good. I think I can see you using that because I would imagine that is going to be a message. Like you're going to be able to, you have a unique skill here that you're going to be able to relate to every pitcher that you have inherited here on the
Yeah.
staff, whether it be a starter, a youngster, and a vet. Like there is no scenario that you haven't gone through that's probably going to help you maybe even go through this process as you learn as being a coach quicker than maybe others can.
Yeah, I'm very excited to teach these other pitchers and even other position players, the whole team about my experience and how to help them and like what helped me get through those hard times.
How do you think you'll describe your style of coaching?
I think I'm still going to be competitor. I can never take that out of me, but it's also teaching them to go out there and compete. Like, yeah, focus things on the bullpen, but also just go out there and compete. Like, the best thing you can do as a player is just compete and have fun.
Also exciting that your first job you're here with Coach Studerman, who knows the game inside out, has done it all in the sport, and you're in a program that's on the rise in a great conference like the American, which was the fifth best conference in the country. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, it is a very good start, and I'm very excited to, you know, coach under Van, like have her help with the pitching, and I'm just very excited for this opportunity, especially with the other two assistant coaches.
Was there a question you asked her that was like a big turning point in the interview where you're like, okay, this is the right coach that I want to work for?
No, it was like my all the questions I asked she answered well, but like for me it was like how easily the conversations like happened with between me and Van and between me and Coach Bray. It was just that and like because I'm a very like kind of internal person, like most people don't know that, but for me to just sit there and talk with someone for like a long period of time, that doesn't come easy for me and it did then. So I knew this was the right place for me to go.
The chemistry was there. You could sense
Yes.
the chemistry.
Yes.
Makes sense. Have you had a chance to reflect on your playing career?
Yeah, a little bit. I try not to think about it because I still want to have those good memories and I'm not trying to be sad. Like I've had a great career. No matter what happened, and I ended on a high note. My career ended on a very good high note and it was an overall very good career. Like I've been playing since a very young age. I've spent like 16 plus years playing softball and I'm just happy I can still be in the sport even though I'm not playing.
I remember that you were in the seniors when you got up there in the podium after the national. It was emotional in
Yeah.
a lot of ways there, but yet it's the best emotional because every career ends at some point. But you ended at the best possible scenario,
Yeah.
winning the program's national title. Has that hit you yet that you won that national title, and have you reflected on that moment that you conquered that ultimate goal?
Yeah, it hit me like even going into that last game, I remember sitting in the hotel room with my roommate Katie Bennett and I was like, I'm not ending my career on a loss. So
Yeah,
that it came down to that. I was like, I'm not ending my career on a loss because we were tied. Going in the third game, we were tied. It was win and be done or lose and be done. I'd rather win and be done.
I had your teammate Katie Siemens on the show shortly after that. She said that they learned from the year before where you came up, you lost to Oklahoma, and that was motivated for the
Yeah.
following year. Were you inspired by that? Did you sense that was kind of like, hey, we had a great year in 24, we won that Big 12 title and all that, but we came up short in the ultimate goal, and that motivated you through the fall and the rest next 2025.
Yeah, we set a goal early that we were going to win the national championship this year, and we just kept sticking through it. And then, like, before every game we came together, and we were like, one more game, one more game. We're only looking at one more game, not games before that, not games behind that. No matter what happened, we're just one more game.
You pitched an incredible game against Tennessee in that semifinal of the World Series. What do you remember, what was that like going pitch for pitch against one of the best pitchers in Carlin Pickens?
You know, it was,
Because that's going to be something I'm sure it's going to be brought up at some point in a
yeah.
bullpen when you talk to your players, where maybe you're facing a quote marquee name,
Mhm.
and you're like, hey, doesn't matter, you can match a pitch for pitch like you
Yeah.
did against Carlin Pickens.
You know, it's great. Like, I wasn't a strikeout pitcher. I was a ground ball, so I was trusting my defense, getting those outs, and it was just like, okay, one more out. I'm competing. It was so fun just going out there and competing and being able to thrive at the highest pressure and the highest level. And it was just so exciting to see all the whole team just rally around me, rally around the hitters, and just come out on top.
I remember I've talked to Coach White, even Kat Osterman, who did a lot of your games. I mean, you know very well. Mentioned both that you were always big time pitcher in the postseason. Like you were the one that you could get. No matter it didn't matter what happened in the regular season. It didn't matter when was the last time you pitched. If they gave you the ball, they trusted you in the postseason. Where did that come from your standpoint?
For me, it's just going out there competing. It was always been a running joke, postseason max back. It's always been that. I don't know. It's just, I guess something just clicks in my head, and I really wish I could have turned it on earlier, but I'm glad it turned on when it mattered.
Yeah, I mean the example of that I think was the Clemson series where you got the ball late in that series after you hadn't gotten the ball in a little while, but you got it and you gave helped them win that series. That, of course, because you always had to play that dramatic super regional. But how do you stay ready? And because that's going to be something too. That as a coach now, you're only going to be on the other end where you're going to have to tell each player, "Hey, be ready." Because maybe your name doesn't get called for a little while, but you never know, it could get called, and you have that from experience.
It's just like locking in. It's like there's a switch in your brain that you just have to turn on. And like mine was when I went to the bullpen to warm up, my flip switched. It's just like I'm warming up to go into the game. I'm not just warming up to warm up. So it's like something in your brain's like, get ready, you're going in, focus. It's just like those three key things that you say to yourself, and that gets you locked in.
Describe the difference of being a starter and preparing to be a starter for a game versus being a reliever and being ready to come in as a reliever, because you've done both. And I would imagine with you and Coach Studerman, that will be part of the philosophy with your pitching staffs is to have them ready to be a starter, but then also, hey, you might be ready as a reliever.
Yeah.
How was that from your standpoint?
Yeah, I think the main difference is like a reliever, you have to be ready for any situation. Like I've been thrown in with bases loaded, two outs, bases loaded, one ball. Like it's just being able to like manage like the stress and the emotions in that situation and just being able to go out there and making your pitch. It's just I think that's the main difference is like being able to like have high composure, like don't let the moment get too big and just be where your feet are and be able to perform in that moment.
Did you have a preference?
No, I didn't matter if when I had the ball. I just wanted the ball.
Right. No, that was. I'm glad you. I was curious because I sensed that every time I watched you pitch, you were one of the like. I think she just wants the ball. I don't think she cares if she's starting right from the
Yeah.
get go or if she comes in the like. You just wanted to be
Yeah.
involved.
No,
Uh,
I was one of the pitchers that wanted the ball no, at every moment. I didn't care. I just wanted the ball.
did you have a favorite game that you pitched that stands
Oh,
out?
I still think my favorite game was my junior year World Series against Florida in the World
Oh,
Series. I think it was game two. Yeah, game two,
yeah. When
Florida.
you crushed them, right?
Mhm.
That was pretty good. Uh, Deal there. You're gonna get asked probably by some of your players, what's it like to be in that play in the World Series? What answer are you gonna give them?
I'm like, it's great. But I was also one of the people like when I'm on the mound, I don't hear nothing. Like Coach PR and Coach Y had to wave their hands to get my attention if they wanted to talk to me. So I really didn't see nothing. I was zoned in. But like before the game, it's great seeing all those fans, like giving the high fives around. It's just like such a great experience and such a fun environment.
You came to Texas coming over from Arizona State via the transfer portal. Now you're going to be a coach. You're going to be probably a coach helping perhaps recruit a player that's in the portal to come to UTSA. How does your experience being in the portal now will you apply that and help you as a coach moving forward?
Mhm. It's like trying to find the right players that'll fit and will thrive at this college. So it's like knowing how I felt and how I went through my process. It's like, can I help someone with their process in the meantime?
Growing up, did you always want to be in softball? Want to play softball?
Yeah, my mom actually put me in several different sports, but I've always just stayed consistent with softball. My mom put me in t-ball when I was 3, and then I just never stopped.
Did you have a favorite athletes, favorite players growing up?
It's funny because like when I was younger, I didn't watch softball until I committed to Arizona State. So it's like, but before when I started watching like my freshman year and sophomore year of high school, I really liked Brianna Maha, who I'm really close with now. She pitched at Arizona State. She graduated a year before I went to college, I think. But I was really close with her and I really liked how she pitched and just she was just a great person.
And you said coaching was always in the back of your mind, that you knew you wanted to
Yes.
get into coaching even while you were playing.
Yes.
What was the first when that was that like right away since you started playing college? Was it at some point during your college career that like it clicked that yeah, I want to get into
Yeah,
coaching?
I think it was right after like I started helping like it was like a young 10U team just like going out and volunteering my time helping them with pitching and like not like the whole practice like defense hitting and it was just like learning that experience like for young girls but like the pitching part of it I'm like I could really use my knowledge and what I know and go help another college go win a national championship, do something they've never done. So it's just like creating goals for them and like having fun while doing it and still being in the softball world.
So as you're playing at Texas, you mentioned you have a deep staff. You got like young Tegan Kavan and stuff. Are you at times taking time and seeing how Coach White and Coach Ruth Taylor is handling the pitching staff? Are you taking notes? Are you starting to maybe as a senior, for example, this past year, are you maybe showing the ropes to a youngster like Salmon, the freshman, things like that? Or is there little pieces that you take a moment to take like, oh, let me mention this because I want to get into coaching, or are you strictly focused, locked in as 100%? I'm just a player, and I'll worry about being a coach down the road later.
Yeah, I think there was a fine line because like we were so far into like our season, like you had to stay focused, but it's also like taking mental notes of like how the decisions are being made, what they're like how they're going through it and how they're making that decision. And it's just learning from that and taking it on how to help me make those decisions later on during season. But it's also like you still had to stay focused, you still had a job to do, but it's still like learning while you have a job to do.
At some point, I am sure, without knowing anything, that UTSA will play Texas at some point. If that when that happens and you're involved in that, what is that going to be like for you to be the opponent against Texas?
I think it'll be very weird, but very excited for this new time, like very excited for this job. And I know most of all those girls on that team, still love them. They're still part of my family and like I love all those coaches, but I think it's exciting to see how I can do against them.
But now, in the meantime, give us now your time. What's going to be? I'm assuming you'll be moving some stuff. Take us through this because I think the next handful of months are going to be important. You're obviously going to learn how things work and how Coach Studeman likes things work. You're going to get to learn the players. So just take us through what the next handful of months are going to be like for you.
Yeah, next handful of months are going to be I'm going recruiting and then I'll move and then recruit some more and then we start uh fall. So I'm going to be very busy. So it's going to be a
How,
fun time though.
what was the reaction when you told the family members and friends?
It was actually funny. So Coach Van called me right after I got off the plane, and my mom picked me up from taking a visit here at UTSA. And mom could hear it through the phone that she offered me. And when I said yes, she started yelling. I had to tell her to be quiet. I'm still on the phone. But they were thrilled. They were very excited for me.
I'm laughing because I can actually relate to that. Like when I record the podcast, because my mom obviously is disabled, so I live with her and help her
Mhm.
out. There's times where she'll be calling me while I'm recording the podcast, so I know what you mean. I actually can relate to that. That is hilarious.
But
Uh,
yeah, I wouldn't have it for the world. They're my biggest supporters, and I love them. So
do you have to
I'm glad she got to be there to hear me get that news.
hook them up to season tickets?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
That's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. Couple last things before I let you go. I know it's been busy. You've been doing a lot of media. From a player career standpoint, you're going to be part of a legacy senior class there in Texas. They're going to be celebrated forever as that first national title team. So you'll probably be invited back there at some point, even if you're coaching all that. When your name gets brought up from Texas fans and all of us, what do you want people to say about Mac Morgan, the player?
I want them to know that I was a true competitor and that I was passionate about the game and really enjoyed my time at Texas.
And now moving forward, as you start your coaching career, what are you hoping that people will say about Mac Morgan, the coach?
Yeah, I really want people to know that like I'm still passionate about softball. I still want to see these girls thrive. I want them to be the competitor. I want to teach them everything that I know and let them take it and run with it and let them be successful. Let them have their goals meet by my help. And like it's just know that I'm passionate. I'm here for them and yeah, just being like that.
Well, it's going to be exciting to follow your journey now as you're with Coach Studerman there. I'm excited. I'm a big fan there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, congratulations on this. This is an awesome opportunity for you. Look forward to seeing you doing your thing there. And congrats on a great playing career. And good luck here, your new journey as a coaching career. And thanks for taking the time to talk to us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.